the closeness is this, yeah, the sort of modest connection that they found, which was really to like notice that the other person was there.
Matthew, I have to do this before we get into fantasy life.
Okay.
I felt seen.
Yes.
This series
Beautiful.
is not referenced enough in pop
Yes.
culture.
And you have the the wonderful Blu-ray
Yeah,
box
I
set, which
did. I said,
it's not streaming on anywhere.
is it
At least,
not?
yeah, in the US, it's not.
I can't believe that because it was such a seminal, it was one of those series that of its time was like, it was iconic. I mean,
It was, yes, yes, totally agree. Yeah.
yeah. So I heard that and I thought, oh my gosh, this is great.
I'm so glad.
If you need to borrow my Blu-rays,
Yeah, thank
you can
you.
have them.
Okay,
Uh,
thank you all.
I'm speaking, of course, with Matthew Shear, the writer, director, and star of Fantasy Life. Matthew, thank you so much for the time. I
Oh,
really
my
appreciate it.
pleasure.
I,
My pleasure.
I've already stated that Fantasy Life is just you fall in love with this story, these characters. It's just such a wonderful piece. But where did it come from?
Well, I'm so happy to hear that. It came from, really, it came from um, a moment in my acting career. This is my first feature. And I was just having a tough moment and couldn't get a job. And I was, yeah, like in a sort of like, can I keep doing this kind of headspace. And my wife sort of reminded me that I had sort of talked about writing something. And I sort of like, chafed at it, said like that I'm not gonna work on that. And then like 3 weeks later, I kind of got started and just dove in. And so it really like came out of a sort of creative need. And it, yeah, it just ended up sticking with me. I sort of got through that moment in my career, but like this was really like the focus of my life for the last, at least creatively for last 7 years. And so that was its origin point.
Well, I love watching these characters try to find themselves, and certainly Sam is one of those characters. But one of the things about him that I love is the honesty about conversations about mental health and struggles. I was wondering as you're preparing this character, what was most important to share about Sam's struggles?
Mm. Well, I think from the screenplay perspective, I was, yeah, just like became a a medium where I could sort of be very honest about my experience with mental health. And Sam and Amanda Peet's character, Diane, like the it was just fun and felt sort of meaningful to me to just be as detailed and honest as possible about their experiences. And so, my approach was to sort of hold nothing back as much as I could, but also, do it in a way that sort of reflected my experience, which was one that included humor and sort of unknowns, and like wasn't in the mental hospital or on suicide watch.
Yeah, I love that. It felt very honest, very real. It wasn't sensationalized, yet it was important. It was just part of who Sam is. And I think it was beautifully depicted.
Thank you. That's great to hear. Thank you.
I would love to talk about working with Amanda, but before I ask you about her, I mean, I'm a little older than you, but Sam and Diane, is that the deliberate nod to Cheers
It,
that I picked up on?
I wish it was. It kind of like naturally like when I'm trying to remember when I sort of like became conscious of it because I've seen Cheers. I was not like a
Yeah.
Cheers. I am too young to sort of have been a like, you know, like on the air Cheers fan. And then I sort of tried to watch when I realized it, I watched some Cheers and I was like, maybe I could sort of pretend like I did, did this. But
It
the
works.
truth is I didn't, but who knows? Maybe it will resonate for somebody.
It's
Uh,
funny because it's like it's just there, and it actually for those of us that did grow up with Cheers,
yeah.
it actually works with these characters, which is why I bring it
Okay,
up because
good.
that tension, that will they, won't they. I mean, they
Yeah,
were one of the big true will they, won't they's, and so I think it works with these two characters. But uh,
that's what I want to hear.
well, and Amanda is wonderful in this. So, what was it? How did she get on board, and how
Yeah.
did you know she was your Diane?
I just had a very strong instinct that Amanda would be the best person for this part. She wasn't like the very first person, um, like my producers and I talked about because there was sort of like, it's a small indie film these days. You sort of like have to go for a moonshot. Obviously, Amanda Peet's a beloved and known, actress, but like to get something off the ground really takes like the equivalent of Nicole Kidman or something. And but to their credit, like we just kind of toiled with it, and everyone just came to agree that she was just going to bring something to this that was going to actually elevate it and make it special. Not to say that weren't the other actors out there, but it was just my strongest instinct about the role. And so luckily when we sent it to her and she, was interested, at least interested in meeting me. And that was kind of the beginning. We started chatting about it and yeah, and she like just ended up being a big supporter.
Well, like I said, the chemistry between you two is just it's so heartwarming. At the same time, I know that she's got it seems like she's got two stories going on in some ways. I know it's all one story, but sort of has her own two journeys going on at the same time. But the scenes with you two together, they work. And I wanted to ask you about, and I won't give any spoilers, but there is a line that says being grateful to be close. And I was wondering about that. If you could talk about this idea of being grateful for closeness, because I think that was
Mm,
something that these characters are really searching for.
mm. That's a that's a very interesting question. Yeah, I think both, Diane, Amanda's character and mine, Sam, that they are kind of like, um, you find them in a sort of insulated moment in their lives. That she's really not connected to her family or her career, or you're sort of like in this very internal moment. And Sam is, sort of like doesn't really know which way is up. He's kind of like tr open, but unable to sort of like um, really find a direction. And I think the the closeness is this, yeah, the sort of modest connection that they found, which was really to like notice that the other person was there, and alive and kind of not exactly doing great, in a way that the other person could be somewhat supportive of. And so I think that, yeah, I think there is a gratitude for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's a comment about a void, looking for the void, trying to the void that can't be filled, and
Yeah.
um, uh, the context is a little bit different, but I do think that's what we see with all of them, even Diane's husband. I forget the character's name,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but there's
David,
all
right. Alessandro Nivola. He, yeah,
so good.
yeah, he talks about how, like, it, describing her acting career and how it's like a void. And I think that, yeah, I think you're right. There's like a kind of, I don't know, like an emptiness that's surrounding these characters, but like that there's also something, uh, human that they're like able to kind of pick up about each other.
I think human is a great way to describe all of them, to be honest. None of them are heroes nor are they villains. They're all just sort of fumbling through trying to get through. Um, in that spirit, I wanted to ask you about the film's title.
Yeah, sure.
Because I know, like, unless I missed it, this is one of those occasions where a title of a film speaks to the core of it, but I don't think there's any speech where they said this is just some fantasy life. It's like it's
Yeah, no, yeah.
so why did you know that this is what you wanted to call the film and have people identify with? What does it mean to you?
Yeah. Well, it, the film was untitled, or the screenplay was untitled for, pretty much the whole journey of its being written. And then I just kind of like one day was walking down the street and it like hit me, not as a like, and to your point, not as a, oh, that's a line in the film that does actually speak to the whole spirit. It was more like I realized that there was something sort of important about, the way fantasy sort of operates in the film, you know, like certainly between Sam and Diane, like the fantasy of the older woman, you know, and on a sort of deeper level, the way in which fantasy like, um is kind of unconsciously operating for all of these characters. Diane being an actor, Sam sort of filling in for her husband as, the man of the family, Alessandro, her husband, the bassist, and how reality just sort of crashes down on all of them and they're left, you know, with a kind of fantasy life that's has some irony in it. Um, it just uh, it just sort of like was kind of poetic type of title that felt right.
It does. It does. Like I said, it's one of these. I love it when a title doesn't have to be said, but it's felt. I really do love
Yeah,
that, and I feel like
cool.
this one taps into it with this film. Um, Honestly, Matthew, Fantasy Life is so much fun and just beautifully done. I really appreciate the chance to chat with you about it. Thank you so much. I think it comes out on
Oh,
VOD on the 8th, I think. Is that?
yes,
Yes.
yes. Thank you, Steve. This was a really interesting um, and yeah, and lovely conversation. I really appreciate your perspective on the movie.
Thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate it. Have a
Yeah.
have a great day, Matthew. Thanks so
Yeah,
much.
you too. Steve, take care. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye.